Summer begins here with the red blossoms on the old crab apple tree. They arrive suddenly, almost like little flames in the green. Every year they seem to announce the season before the calendar does. The garden changes even when they open. The air changes, even the light feels warmer. And when the nightingale begins. Hidden somewhere among the leaves, he sings through the night with 1,000 melodies. From darkness to dawn, that small bird fills the whole garden with sound. You rarely see him, you only hear him, a voice coming from the unseen. There is something deeply symbolic in that. The nightingale has always carried meaning in old stories and poetry. Love, longing, sorrow, devotion, the soul speaking in darkness. A small, almost invisible bird with a song far greater than its body. It feels like a messenger between worlds, reminding us that beauty often comes from places we cannot see. Lately I have started to understand this garden differently. This is my childhood garden. The place I came from, the place I somehow had to return to. At first, I thought moving back here was simply life rearranging itself. Practical things, family things, circumstances. But now, walking here in the mornings, I feel something much deeper unfolding. It is as if the garden remembers me. As if the trees have been standing here holding pieces of a story I was too young to understand when they were planted. My mother's tree of love, blooming red at the beginning of summer. And across the garden stands the ash tree. My father planted that one. It has now grown into something enormous. A grand old ash tree rising above the garden like a living cathedral. Its branches hold the sky, its roots go deep into the ground. It gives shelter to birds, insects, shadows, wind, and all the quiet lives moving through the garden. In Nordic belief, the ash tree is connected to Yggdrasil, the great tree of life, the world tree. Its branches reach into the heavens, and its roots travel into the hidden worlds below. Yggdrasil holds the worlds together. It is the tree of gods, fate, wisdom, creatures, death, life, and transformation. Odin himself thought wisdom through the tree. He hung from Yggdrasil from 9 nights, wounded and alone, suspended between worlds until the runes revealed themselves to him. And this is where the story reaches far beyond the north. Almost every old belief, story, and religion carries some version of the same image. The sacred tree, the world tree, the garden, the fruit, the roots below and the heavens above. The place where human life touches spirit, death, knowledge, temptation, healing, and rebirth. Different names, different symbols, the same ancient memory moving through humanity. A tree standing between worlds. A tree holding wisdom, a tree where life death and spirit meet. That story lands in me with a strange and painful force, because my father also ended his life in a tree. There are things in a family story that are almost too heavy to place into words. For many years, I could only feel the wound. I did not see the symbolism. I did not see the pattern. I did not see how strongly the tree would return into my own life, again and again, as both pain and guidance. Standing here now, the tree becomes more than a tree. It becomes memory, grief, mystery, and life continuing from the very place where life once broke. Wisdom did not come to Odin through comfort. It came through surrender, pain, and the long silence of being held between worlds until the hidden language appeared. And perhaps grief does something similar. Grief places us between worlds. We keep walking, breathing, living, while part of us reaches toward the ones who left, toward the unseen, toward the questions no ordinary answer can satisfy. My father passed 26 years ago, and his passing changed my relationship with life, death, and presence. Over the years, I have felt his guidance in ways that are difficult to explain. A presence, a message arriving in the body before the mind has time to question it. Later came illness, strange near-death experiences, and years of massive inner change. Something opened in me. My senses became sharper. I could read people and situations with an accuracy that frightened me. I felt intention beneath words, currents in rooms, things before they were spoken. For a long time I shut it down because it felt too far away from the ordinary world. Then someone came into my life from the other side of the world, and everything broke open again. The distance between us made no sense, because the connection felt closer than anything I had known. It threw me into chaos, into realizations, into a deeper awakening I could neither control nor fully understand. And then he too left for the other side. It has been about a year now, a year of standing inside a connection that did not end with death, a year of learning that love does not disappear because the body is gone, a year of wondering whether he had to leave this physical world because from there he could come closer, as if he became roots on the other side, roots I could reach for, roots I could ask, roots that began answering through signs, dreams, animals, numbers, songs, and moments arriving with such strange timing that ignoring them became harder than accepting them. And now I walk through this garden and feel the pattern. My mother's crabapple tree, the tree of love. My father's ash tree, the tree of life. The nightingale singing from the unseen. The roots beneath me. The sky above me. The years held in bark, blossom, shadow, and soil. I was about 5 years old when the ash tree was planted on bare ground. I'm 5 years older than that tree, yet it has become the giant, and I am still the small one beneath it. The tree has grown while I was surviving. It has stood through my father's passing, through illness, through love, grief, endings, beginnings, and all the wild years I could barely hold myself. It has watched children grow beneath it. My own children and my sister's children have spent their summers running around it on bare feet, laughing, playing, circling the same trunk that once stood as a small young tree in bare ground. Sometimes I wonder if my father has watched us through it all, through the branches, through the leaves, through the quiet life of the tree he planted, as if a part of him remained here, in the living shelter he left behind. The ash has grown upwards and downwards. It has become more rooted than I have ever been. Maybe that is one of the lessons. Nature does not rush its becoming. A tree simply grows toward light and deepens into darkness at the same time. Many people on earth are waking up now. I know that may sound strange to some, but many will understand exactly what I mean. They feel it in their bodies, in dreams, in the nervous system, in sudden grief, in strange signs, in the feeling that the old material world no longer holds the same power. Animals appear at meaningful moments. Repeating numbers show up in the oddest places. Songs arrive with messages. Dreams feel vivid and direct. The natural world begins to feel alive in a way it perhaps always was, but we had forgotten how to notice. If this is happening to you, be gentle with yourself. You may be remembering parts of yourself that modern life taught you to silence. Human beings were never meant to live cut off from the earth. We belong to this world as deeply as the birds, the trees, the rivers, the insects, and the stars above us. Everything is connected. The soil feeds the roots hold the tree shelters the bird carries the song reaches the human heart, and when the human heart wakes up, perhaps it remembers how to protect the tree. That is the circle. That is the living agreement. Nature and the universe move together through everything alive. Light, matter, memory, rhythm, breath, decay, rebirth, and consciousness. We call something supernatural because we forgot how natural they are. A bird arriving in the exact moment you needed a sign. A number repeating until you pay attention. A dream carrying the voice of someone gone. A tree making you feel held when no person could. Perhaps these things belong to nature's oldest language, a language the body understands before the mind dares to follow. The modern world has trained us to trust only what can be measured quickly, but the deepest things in life are often felt before they are understood. Love, grief, intuition, presence, the atmosphere of a place, the soul of a tree, the sudden certainty that something unseen is near. I have stopped trying to force these things into explanations that make other people comfortable. I would rather stay honest. Something is happening. Something has opened. And in this garden, it speaks through the red blossoms, the ash tree, the nightingale, and the memory of those who planted life here before they left. My mother planted love, my father planted life, and I came back to stand between them. Maybe that is why I had to return, to remember where I began, to understand what was growing while I was gone, to see time is counted in years, branches, roots, blossoms, and the height of a tree that once stood smaller than me. Now it towers the garden, now I stand beneath it, and somehow I feel embraced by nature, by spirit, by time, and by all the lives that touched this place before me. The garden has been speaking all along. I just had to come home to hear it. I'll be back in the next one with all the colors that return with summer. Stay kind and shine your light.